and welcome to Kicking It in the Kitchen. I'm David Doc Robertson. I'm your host. Hi, and welcome to Kicking It in the Kitchen. This is our third episode, and I am your host, David Doc Robertson. I hope you liked the first two episodes. Let's see, I fixed breakfast for you the first time. Last time I did I made my $7 sandwich. Well, actually, I thought it was an $8 sandwich, and then because the prop guy didn't have enough of the correct bread, we had to call it a $6 sandwich because we had to use one of the ends. And so now I think we'll call it a $7 sandwich and just average it out. There are going to be times when I make mistakes in this show because, I'm not perfect. As you can see, and as I explained to you before, I am a C5-6 quadriplegic, and sometimes people will look at me and say, you've adjusted quite well to your injury, and actually I haven't adjusted quite well, and sometimes it could be really devastating, but today is not one of those days, so I'm going to continue on. And today we have a guest. We have Marques Johnson with us today, one of my old buddies from way back when. He's currently doing the morning talk show on radio station KFWB Channel 98 in Los Angeles, and that's on your AM dial. Welcome, Marques.
So you're old school, Channel 98, all news all the time. It's the Beast 980, that's what we're calling it nowadays.
The Beast 980.
Yeah, that's the new school, the Beast 980.
All right.
Yeah, we feed on LA sports is what we're doing. LA feed on his food this morning, so.
LA sports, how about those Dodgers? How are they doing?
Dodgers are doing okay, man. They've got a new management team whose sole kind of approach to managing is sabermetrics, using numbers. And I know you're an old school kind of a guy. They use stats. Everything is about stats and looking at a guy's advanced analytics to try and put together a team. So it's an interesting approach. And, they're kind of holding serve right now. They're not doing great, they're in first place. They're in first place, but the Giants are kind of right on their heels. So it is fun to been able to follow them, kind of old school guys like us. We kind of go by field and gut and watch how a guy plays for a couple of weeks and make an evaluation. They look at spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. So it's a different era.
It sounds interesting. I saw a special on Nova on how numbers actually rule the universe. So they might be onto something.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the Houston Astros, not to get too far off the topic, but their guy who's Jeff Lanau, who was from St. Louis, he built the Cardinals up into a powerhouse that they are today. His whole thing, he's got a NASA physicist, he's got biochemists, he's got nothing but numbers guys working in the front office, and they call it the Nerd Cave. They get together every day, and their Astros are 5 games ahead in the American League West over the Angels, so it's working beautifully for the Astros, so there's something to it.
Yeah, there is something to it. One more thing that was brought up to me earlier today was the Lakers draft. Do you have an opinion on them drafting a point guard? Or?
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell. It's funny. He's like 19 years old, and you remember D'Angelo, the singer, the Brown Sugar,
right?
Some Brown Sugar, yeah. So this dude was named after D'Angelo. So I thought maybe a nickname like Brown Sugar would be good, but then I found out that song was all about smoking weed, so I don't think he would go that way. To kind of stay away from that. But he reminds me of Nick Van Exel a little bit. He's a taller version of Nick Van Exel. He's even got the little shaved little slits in his eyebrows like Van Exel had. But D'Angelo Russell's about 6'5", out of Ohio State. And he's good. He's a good player, but it's funny. I get so many long-time Laker heads who hate that pick. They don't think he has the lateral quickness to be a superstar caliber NBA player. You know, just being able to move from point A to point B and slide his feet and all that. Athletically, he's got a 39-inch running vert, which is really good. So we'll see. I mean, he's a good shooter. He impressed Byron Scott in some 3-on-3 drills with his toughness and his shooting and just leadership qualities. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
He's no Marques Johnson, right?
Yeah, no Marques Johnson. I'm thinking of 3-on-3, and I think about some of our 2-on-2 games when me and you would go against Ricky Walker, Tex Walker, and Ennis Cooper in my backyard, and then you made us these uniforms, these Camp Nipper Sarah t-shirts, these striped blue t-shirts, cut the arms out, and they they came back to the backyard. We were all about 15 years old at the time, 14, 15. They came back in the backyard. We challenged them to a 2-on-2 contest, and they were like, "You guys got uniforms? You got uniforms?" It's like, yeah, we're ready for you. So I don't know about that thought. You probably get a lot of that today, kind of digressing a little bit.
Yeah, I do. Yep. But the young cameraman doesn't understand when I do that.
Yeah, your father was a musical genius, young cameraman. He's way ahead of his time. You just don't know. He was writing rock operas long before they became fashionable. So.
And there you have it, folks. Go from music genius to culinary genius in a wheelchair. How about let's get in some grub?
Let's do it. I'm hungry. Let's do it.
All right. Okay, today, like I said, last time, I made my, oops, I grabbed the wrong thing first. See, I told you there were going to be mistakes. I made my $7 sandwich, and believe me, it came out really good.
What's in a $7 sandwich?
It's, well, first I toast the bread in the frying pan with butter. And I warm up the turkey just enough to get the flavor to come out a little more than if you eat it cold. And I add the salad that of my choice, a tomato, lettuce, either mayo or Miracle Whip, depending on which one you like. And it comes out really good.
Any the turkey? I mean, like I like honey maple. Do you like just regular turkey, or do you go for the
same thing?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, smoked honey.
There you go.
All right.
Always on the same page. It's Kismet.
But today we're gonna fix something that that you can have for either breakfast or dinner, and it's my shrimp scrambled eggs surprise.
I guess I won't ask you what the surprise is until after I eat it, just in case.
Well, I call it a surprise because I put it together one day. I didn't know what I was doing. I said, well, let me experiment here, and I was surprised at how good it tasted. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some rice. All right, I'm going to get my pot here. I don't have a rice maker, so I do it old school. All right?
That's the best way.
The only thing is that you have to be really diligent in keeping an eye on the rice. Okay. You know, I never knew how much I use my mouth for things until I started taping this show and watching it.
That's what she said.
Good one. Okay. Since I'm almost out, I think I'll just empty the bag in here. You use about 2 tablespoons per helping, and that's about what's in here. All right.
It's a great coffee, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I would say the name, but they haven't paid us yet, so.
No product placement here. That's really good.
All right, so One thing you want to do is wash the rice. Okay. And you want to use the filter, which is a lot cheaper than bottled water. You use this filter. Oh, I can't read the name of the company that does the filter. But because you're using this to cook with, and all you do, I wash my hands already, by the way. You just move it around in here and get a lot of the starch off, and then you make sure that you don't pour out the rice. Just pour out the excess water. You do it again. Do it one more time.
And what happens if you leave some of the starch in? It just sticky, it gets more sticky and gooey, and does it mess with the texture at all?
You know what? I really don't know. I'm just doing it the way my mama showed me. When I was a young man, going into my teen years, and I thought, you know, there's a chance that I might be a bachelor, but I'm gonna know how to cook. And I'm following the directions. I think she said it would be gooey and sticky.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the cameraman will come back over here. You put just enough water to cover the rice so that when the rice expands, it won't, it will get nice and fluffy and it will get soft. All right? And rice actually is a multi-purpose meal. You can use this for dinner with gravy, and then the next morning, like we did when I was a kid, sometimes my mom would say, I'd say, Mom, we're all out of cereal. And she'd say, just get some rice and put some milk and sugar in it. And we did that. It came out pretty good. All right, so turn that on high. And when it reaches a boil, we put a top on there. Now, you may notice that this top does not match the pot. I have it that way for a couple of reasons. For one, if I use the top that matches this pot, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I need something that has a hook on there, something that I don't have to touch directly, and I can just put right on there. All right? Well, I hope we didn't see the name of the rice that I used. Okay, I'm gonna dump this. All right. So how was your drive out here?
Long. I came out from LA. You told me to take the 10. I think I took I MapQuested it, and so it said go the 10 to the 60 to the 215, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it was cool until I started going up this like mountain pass, and then the elevation and all that. And you look over to the side, I got a little vertigo, and it was just a whole whole deal. I had to get behind a slow truck and just go real slow around those curves. So.
Yeah, that 60 is crazy. People go on there like they're Mario and Dre.
Yeah, no, they were zooming by me, and it was intimidating. Yes, it was. You told me you don't like to drive at night. I can understand, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't even go that way, but I can understand it. Yeah.
One thing, remember, with this show, if you're not in a wheelchair and you're just learning how to cook, I will never go too fast for you. All right? And if you are in a wheelchair, remember safety first. I'm staying next to this fire. I could go start doing to do something else, but since I have this on high, safety first, and I always make sure that I don't want the rice to burn. I don't want it to come out brittle. So I keep an eye on it, and I'm listening for the sizzle, for shizzle.
My jizzle.
And it sounds like it's getting ready to start boiling. And it is. So now I turn this on low. I put the top on, and we're cooking. All right. Now for the shrimp part. As you can see, I have the shrimp and the onions and the bell peppers. I hope you remember what I told you last time. That bell peppers and onions make you very special in your dorm room, all right, or in the frat room or frat house. You could cook anything and just cook it by itself, like you could do scrambled eggs, or you could saute some shrimp. But when you add some natural flavoring in there, then the ladies look at you a different way. All right. Okay, so as you can see, once again, I have everything ready. I have the onions and the bell peppers. I showed you how I diced those. Now for the shrimp, I'm going to cut off and show you how I take the tails off these shrimp. And they're all ready. You can buy them deveined and all that kind of stuff, but they still have the tails on. And I'm going to show you how I take the tails off right now. All right. Normally, if I'm doing this for myself, I don't bother. I just pick up one of these bad boys and put it in my mouth and bite the tail off and spit it in the trash can. But since we have a guest today, I have to be sterile and use my handy dandy tool, the same one that I showed you how I dice, or that I used to dice onions and the bell peppers with. And it's real easy. Just bring it down right by the tail. Are you getting this?
Yep.
Real close. And push back and forth. And it's easy as pie. See how that just comes off right like that. And here we are with the last one, and that's how we get the tails off the shrimp. All right, and then we dispose of them. If there was a trash can right here, the prop boy has got to get on his job. All right, so now you see how I prepare the shrimp. What I do next is I saute this mixture, and I move right over here. By the way, I want to say welcome to President Barack Obama. Glad you can watch the show. Marques Johnson, I'm glad that you are watching.
Hi, Mom.
Bobby Flay, if you ever want to throw down, I'm ready to take you down. And also the women's soccer team, good luck this week, and I know that you're watching too. So it's just too bad that you're all can't be here to enjoy the surprise. All right, so this is kind of heavy, and I got it up there with no trouble. I put that on low. You know why? I want to check my rice one more time. Okay. Now, I don't touch this pot with my hand, because I can't use a pot holder. And I use my, it's not a cigar. I use my handy dandy stick. Take that off. take a quick look. Oh, it's got at least 5 more minutes to go. I put that back on right there. And I come over here for another one of my tools. You've never eaten my cooking, huh?
I don't think so. I think this will be a first.
All right. Well,
Now, how difficult was it for you to kind of get this all down? And was it trial and error? Did someone show you?
oh no, no one showed me. A lot of the stuff that I do to make myself independent, I came up with on my own. And by the way, if any of you veteran centers want me to come and demonstrate anything about being independent, just send me an email and I will be glad to do it. Especially for you vets who are coming home from one of the wars that we've been involved with. I'll be glad to come and help you learn how to do exactly what I'm doing. All right. So, oh, but nobody taught me. I started out long time ago, and I made the mistake and I'm going to tell you this, don't ever let, if you're in my position, don't ever let somebody tell you, oh, all you have to do is ask me and I will do it for you. There are 2 drawbacks with that. One is that eventually you don't feel like asking, and then another thing is that people sometimes are busy and they don't want to be disturbed when you get hungry. So I'm showing you what you can do when you get hungry. All right. So I'm sauteing the shrimp in with the onions and the bell pepper. That's looking good. Bobby Flay, am I doing this right? Oh, sorry.
Did you happen to see the president sing "Amazing Grace"?
Oh yeah, I was singing right along with him.
That was great, wasn't it? That was one of his. Hard to call it a speech. It was a eulogy, but that was one of the best messages I think he's given.
Yeah.
Seems like he's kind of a lame duck now. Doesn't have to worry about doesn't have to worry about anybody criticizing him, or doesn't have to worry about re-election. So now he can kind of be who he is and just relax and let his hair down and just do his thing. It's wonderful to watch.
I wrote a piece on Facebook a while ago about all the people who criticize what he's doing and how tough skinned he is, because if it were me, I'd go challenge tell that person to go down to the Y and challenge him to a boxing match.
Yeah.
But I guess he just looks in the mirror every morning and say, I'm president, damn it. So there's nothing you can do.
Have him out of it.
One thing you have to make sure is that your rice doesn't burn, because burnt rice is just terrible. That's why I'm going to check on it one more time. Sorry for turning my back on you, Marcus.
No problem. Just glad to be getting a free meal.
Now, remember, this is hot. I have a tray and a towel on my lap. Okay, I would say it's just about there. Another minute, another 60 seconds, and I will just turn it off.
The nature of your injury, if you did burn your legs, would you be able to feel that?
I wouldn't be, well, I wouldn't feel it, but some way my body would let me know if I would have a spasm or something.
Right.
Just start, so, oh, something is wrong. Okay. getting a lot of excess water from the shrimp because they were frozen. I'm going to try to get rid of that before I put in the eggs. I'm going to let these cook a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to turn them up so we can, so I think I have control over the situation now. I always start off with the fire on low, and then once I figure out that I have control of the situation, I turn it up a little more to medium. And I'm going to turn this rice off and just let it sit right there. It may need to cook just a little bit more, but I know that it's cooking still in the pot. And I have yet to burn a pot of rice.
Really?
Okay, yep.
All these years, no
All
burnt
these years.
rice. All right.
Now I know I've said this a lot before. In an accessible kitchen, the stove would be a lot lower. And maybe if you look at that table right there, the table that the cameraman built, or should I say, the prop builder built, that would be about the level, maybe just a little bit higher for the stove. I'm just making do with this stove until we can do better. All right. Actually, I think I'm going to leave this water in here for flavoring from the shrimp, but that helps too. I'm going to let this cook maybe one more minute, and then I'm going to let the pan cool off. And if you remember from the first episode, you know why I'm going to let it cool off. And while it's cooling off though, we'll get some plates out and get everything ready. Because once the eggs are put in, it only takes a few more minutes to get this done. All right? So you had a tough trip coming out here, huh?
No, it wasn't that bad. I mean, just that one little strip going into where Banning and Hemet and all that. You know, you told me to take the 10 straight out of LA, and then when I map quested it, it gave me this other route that I thought might have been quicker, but I wasn't prepared for the just the ruggedness and the just in the mountains and all that, and so that was a tough part.
Okay. And I'm going to turn this off right now and let that pan cool off. That should take about 5 minutes for the pan to cool off. Now, I'm going to get a couple of plates. I hope you don't mind styrofoam.
Not at all.
I'm going to set these over here. One for you.
Thank you. Is the prop boy going to get a chance to eat, or he just...
The prop boy does not like my cooking.
No?
Nope.
I'm allergic to shrimp, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He is allergic to shellfish.
Don't want that.
But whatever I cook, he still won't eat it.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Is that prop boy?
No.
What's going on? All that work put into cooking, you're not going to eat it?
His taste buds are with fast food.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Any brand in particular that he fancies?
Well, there's one in particular that he likes to go to. I'm not going to say their name on the air because I don't want to give them free publicity.
All right.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for that pan to cool down, you were the first John Wooden Award winner, right?
Yes, I won the Wooden Award in 1977. Big reason why I was going to go pro. They just had the NBA draft a couple of days ago, as we talked about earlier, with D'Angelo Russell taken by the Lakers at number 2. But I was going to go NBA in 1976 and sign with the Denver Nuggets of the ABA right before the merger.
Right.
And Larry Brown was coaching the Denver Nuggets of the ABA. His brother Herb was coaching the Detroit Pistons of the NBA. And Herb got wind through Larry that they were going to sign me without me going through the draft in '76, and told his general manager Oscar Feldman, who reported it to the NBA. The NBA threatened to not go through with the merger if Denver signed me. And long story short, because of that, those two brothers, Larry Brown, the great coach that he is, Hall of Famer Herb Brown, they didn't talk for 20 years. I didn't find out until later, because Larry was so pissed off at Herb for blowing a chance to sign me right out of college. They didn't speak 20 years, but I stayed back in school, went back to UCLA my senior year,
Right.
and that was the first year that they were starting the John Wooden Award.
Oh, okay.
So that was a big determining factor in going back to school. It was an opportunity to be the first winner of that award. It did help that Richard Washington and Adrian Dantley both left college, because they would have been viable candidates for the award too.
Right.
So once they decided to go pro in 1976, it pretty much opened up a gateway for me to have a good year and win the award. So it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, good. I would bring up that '76 Olympic team, in which only one player east of the Mississippi was chosen
Who was that?
to play. Oregon player Ron Lee, I think.
Okay,
his name was.
okay, right.
Yeah,
Right.
and there were 4 players from North Carolina that played.
Yeah, Mitch
Yeah.
Kupchak, Walter Davis. I can't. Phil Ford, I think, might have been on that team.
Yeah.
Tom Lagara, I think Tom Lagara. Who the hell is Tom Lagara?
And I just bring this up to point out East Coast bias
Yeah.
in basketball.
Right.
But I won't get into that, because that will just open a can of worms that maybe we don't want to get into.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny. I didn't try out for that Olympic team, and I was just kind of cool to it all. And I was actually trying to go pro. I was focused on that year, and then after everything fell through with Denver, and I decided to come back to college, Gene Bartow, my coach at UCLA, called Walter, who was coaching the Olympic team, and they were trying to make some special allowance for me to get on the Olympic team, but it didn't work out. They'd already had the trials, and since the guys had went through the trials and all that, so if I would have went to the tryouts, I think I would have made that team. It was coached by Dean Smith, and they had some great players: Scott May, Quentin Buckner, Adrian Dantley,
Right.
the North Carolina guys you talked about. But I feel real confident if I would have tried out, I probably would have made the team.
Yeah.
So,
I feel confident too.
yeah.
All right. I think the pan might be cooled off enough now. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Now remember, I have to do things differently. So I'm going to move this over here and then right here. Okay, onto the towel and the tray that's underneath the towel. All right, so we're going to move over here. And I'm going to get these eggs. All right, I might have to turn my back on you a little bit,
Problem.
Marques. And remember, Marcus's challenge is not to help me in any way.
Like I'm not even here.
Actually, when he reached for his coffee, I thought he was going to help. I was getting ready to smack his
Not even
hand.
here.
Okay, I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to get these. Oh, my hands are... Okay, there we go. And you know how I do it. There we go. That's one. And since I'm cooking for 2, I'm going to use all 5 of these eggs here. All right. Okay. Oops. That one's okay. Ooh, that one came out just right.
Okay.
And 3 more.
This is a technique you came up with yourself.
Yep. Took me a long time to think, well, how am I going to crack these eggs? So, the main thing, okay, this is taking kind of long here. All right, I got that one. I'm going to just do that. That's a lot quicker. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so now I know there's one time you might say, oh, I can't do this stuff. I can't do what he's doing. But I used to think that too. When I was first injured, I couldn't move at all. Not one muscle. And then slowly but surely, I got some sensation back.
How long before you got the sensation back? Years, months?
It took only a few months to get some of the sensation back, but I had to strengthen everything. There's a little shell right there. I'm going to get that. Yep, I got it. Let's close that. I will get rid of this when we're done. Oh, there's another one. Don't want shells in our food. Did I get it? No, I missed it. Here we go. Oh wait, the pan is hot. Ah! All right. Didn't fall for it that time, did you? Okay. So now I'm going to just stir all this in. I know this is mouth-watering right now, right?
I'm hungry. I've eaten all day. I've been waiting, saving it just for this.
You will not be disappointed. All right, so I'm going to set that down right there. And I'm going to carefully move this over here. I've never dropped anything like this. Thank goodness. Now, once again, you're going to see why I let the pan cool off. I'm going to back up a little ways from the stove. I'm going to get it up a little bit here. And grab it. Burnt lips. All right, there we go. So we have, oops. So we have that on medium fire. Now, actually I'm going to move it on low because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stick to get that top off of there. I'm going to dish up the rice because the egg won't be too far behind. And even though the rice might cool off a bit while it's on the plate, the eggs will just warm it right back up. Putting that over here. grab that. Okay. I'm going to use my handy dandy all-purpose utensil. If you could move your cup of coffee. They're out of that look nice and fluffy, right?
Starch free.
All right.
It's good. Perfect. Texture.
A little bit more.
Not sticking together like my rice does.
The thing is,
Your mom was on. Rita was on to something. Your mother was on to something.
yep. There we go.
Take the starch out first.
Right there. Okay.
We were up in Berkeley for the Jazz Festival when I was in college. Calvin Peterson, Mike Horton, that whole crew.
Okay.
The guys we went to college with. So we stayed with Calvin Peterson's girlfriend, Sue Magno, who was Filipino. Spent the night on her floor like you do when you're in college, about 5 of us. In the morning she made sausage, toast, eggs, and rice for breakfast. And I remember Mike Horton was like, Filipino people eat rice for breakfast? I think it was the first time I had rice, so yeah. And ever since then, rice has been a staple of mine for breakfast. I like rice for breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, rice and butter, yeah.
Okay. You might try a teaspoon, just a teaspoon. A little sprinkling of sugar on there.
On the rice?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That will be a big surprise, I'm telling you.
Alright.
Like I said, my mom used to put milk and sugar on our rice.
Like cereal.
Just like cereal.
Yep.
Actually, just like grits.
Yeah. And cream of wheat, grits, all that good stuff. Were you a cream of wheat guy growing up?
Cream of wheat, oatmeal,
Yeah, I love cream of wheat.
grits.
Yeah. Now we would make cream of wheat out of grits, you know. Yeah, you know. You didn't have to buy the regular cream of wheat box. So you get the grits and put some milk, sugar, butter.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, now that I'm back over here, I have this fire on medium. Because I have 5 eggs in here, I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Like the gas works better for you, better than electric, because you can control it a little easier.
I can control gas, I can see what's going on.
Yeah.
And electric is just a mess. I'm pretty sure that if I used electric, I would have to go by what I hear, what's going on in the pot, rather than what I see, what's going on underneath. Now, like I said before, I start to turn the eggs once I see the clear parts turning white. All right? So we're waiting for that.
So that's your key. That's your key.
That's my key right there. And since this is pretty thick, I'm still going to wait just a little bit longer. You can hear them sizzling in there, and I don't want them to sizzle too much. But this is really thick, and the pan is moving a little bit. But in the end, I will be the one in control. Now, because I'm going to turn this fire on a little lower, because I don't want it to cook and get away from me. All right? So instead of trying to push things over, I'm going to get underneath here. Oop, and start flipping it. Just move it around. Cameraman, you're getting too close. Because I don't want to this pan keeps moving. There we go. Like I said, I am in control here. Alright. So, it looks like it's pretty much done. I'm going to take it off. Now, remember what I said last time, even though this is like this, it's still cooking, and it will continue to cook until I take it out of the pan. So I'm going to let you have first helping right here. I'm going to turn that over, make sure I get it all. And we're just going to put that right on top, right like that.
Looks good. Shrimp's all cooked in there. The bell
Yep.
pepper's all done. Onions are sauteed. Water's kind of, the water that was off the shrimp when they were frozen was kind of cooked all in there too for some flavor, like you talked about.
Yep.
The eggs are perfect. I don't know if you can pull it off. 5 eggs is a lot of eggs to get perfect.
Yeah, it started to get away from me a little bit. Oh, I spilled some. Now, I'm going to put some, what I want to do, oops. Prop person did not make sure the soy sauce was in the right place. I'm going to grab that right over here. Uh-oh. This is not supposed to happen, folks. This is the first on the show. It's an accident, and I don't want to put too much pressure on this bottle.
Where's the prop person?
There we go.
Nice.
I got it up.
Nice touch.
And we bring this over here.
Thank you, sir.
Sprinkle some of that on there. Oh, you got to get you a fork. I will get you one from my drawer. I have a special drawer that I keep just for myself.
Is it a quick and clean fork?
Yep.
Just kidding.
Here we go.
Thank you, sir.
Give us a try. Let's.
All right. Is there a name for this?
My scrambled eggs and shrimp surprise.
It's really good.
And you heard it here first from our guest, our first guest, Marques Johnson of radio station KFWB. What do you call it? The Beast?
The Beast 980.
The
Yeah.
Beast 980.
We usually feed on LA Sports. I'm feeding on this scrambled egg shrimp surprise right now. Really good, man. The onions, the bell pepper, the eggs are real fluffy and nice and done. That's good.
Bobby Flay, eat your heart out. All right. I'm David Doc Robertson, and you've been watching Kicking It in the Kitchen. Now I'm going to get my grub on. Until next time, goodbye.
Ready to serve sandwiches?
Fried neck bones and some home fries. 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 Fried neck bones and some home fries.